As of Sunday, March 1st, requirements to be eligible for federal SNAP benefits have been updated. Able-bodied adults without dependents, ages 18 to 64, must complete at least 80 hours per month of work, volunteering, or training to receive full food assistance benefits. Joining us now, Roger Figueroa, Cornell Assistant Professor of Social and Behavioral Nutrition. Roger, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
I know it just started, but how big a change on paper is this to the program and to the people it serves?
Yes, thank you. So this is a massive change, significant change to the largest nutritional assistance program in the U.S., which serves about 42 million people. We're looking at changes that expands the work requirements for adults between the ages of 18 to 64, when it used to be 18 to 54. So now individuals who are between the ages of 55 and 64 will have to do some sort of work, volunteer experience, or training for about 80 hours per month. This also expands the work requirement for families who have children between the ages of 14 and 18, when before individuals would be eligible if they had a child under 18. Now, if your child is between the ages of 14 and 18, they also are going to have to find about 80 hours of occupation, work, training, or volunteerism.
Yeah, Roger, I'm curious from your standpoint, and this kind of I think is really your lane, from a nutrition standpoint, how important is SNAP to recipients, and how difficult could it be if people fall off or they don't even know about the updated requirements and fall off that way? So from a nutrition standpoint, strictly.
Yeah, no, we certainly have been looking at that. We know that SNAP participation is linked to improved health outcomes, specifically around health status and lower costs related to healthcare. We also know SNAP is beneficial for addressing poverty. Individuals now should they have the access to the benefits, will be able to buy groceries and wouldn't have to worry about covering other basic needs like energy bills or housing expenses and healthcare expenses and such. And so I think it just takes away a resource that ultimately impacts their overall well-being, and so it makes it harder for individuals to then engage in healthier behaviors.
What kind of impact? I'm guessing you folks studied this pretty carefully. The federal government shut down in the fall, and that lapse in SNAP benefits for like several weeks there. Did you see any kind of impact there?
Yeah, I mean, I think from a community standpoint, some of the things we had been observing is that there was an increased number of clients who would need to access emergency food programs such as food banks and food pantries. And what we learned, I think, is that where SNAP can provide about 9 meals to those who are eligible for the benefits, the food pantries do not have the capacity to provide those 9 meals. So for every 1 meal that a food pantry or any other emergency food program offers, SNAP provides 9. So it's really a challenge for these institutions to try to fill that gap, and that's sort of what we observed when we saw the government shut down.
So I'm guessing they could potentially see that kind of impact. Maybe not as great as we saw in the fall, but if people are kicked off, that reliance on other safety nets, food pantries, etc., will probably rise up again.
Absolutely. I think we're going to have to find alternative ways to support between 4 or 5 million people who are estimated to be impacted by these SNAP work rule changes.
Time for one more. I got about 50 seconds left. What about businesses out there? Because there are some that do count on people shopping with their SNAP benefits. So could they also be impacted by these new rules?
Absolutely. There's going to be implications for the local economy. I think one of the things we studied in our review that we published earlier last year around SNAP participation is that access to SNAP-approved vendors was actually a facilitator for SNAP participation. And so now, we're seeing that the number of people that will be affected by the change won't be able to redeem their benefits in their nearest nearest SNAP-approved grocery store. And so I think that's going to result in the loss of profit for many local businesses.
Roger, great conversation. Really appreciate you coming on and joining us. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thanks. Take care.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.